Well, the actors and the creative team are magnificent. I'm so happy and honored to work with them. Nike Doukas is a director here in Los Angeles who understands pacing and has such a good, austere sense of naturalism, and I really rate her. She's very, very good. The actors themselves, it's funny because the pandemic has yielded almost what I would call the pandemic players. I've written a few plays during this time, and we have the same group of people sort of dealing with them. My sort of pipe dream is to have a repertory company for Max and Willie's Last Laugh, Our American Hamlet, and UnRavelled. It's the same 8 or 9 actors who could do all 3 plays. And I just, in a way, I'm coming out of this pandemic having found the company of people who I'd like to sort of work with for the next 10 years. They're extraordinary. I'm not going to lie, I'm married to one of them, Lucy Davenport. She plays Anne. And she told me a long time ago when I was just starting to write this, she's like, I'm playing this part. And I said, no, okay. And I'm really glad she said that, because this speaks to her. Lucy's superpower is being able to track the finest gradations of behavior and emotion. She's so fine. And this is completely what this is about. This play is all about what is the difference between something that you choose and something that is almost like that you forgot to stop yourself. And it's all about, pathological behavior versus choices. And what does that mean? So it really speaks to her strengths as a performer. And then Connor Duffy, who plays Ravel, is just exquisite. He's an actor who I've worked with before, but he also is my dear writing partner on Max and Willie's Last Laugh. And then Rob Nagel, who is just grand. He's a mainstay of the theater here in LA, and he's worked with me before on Our American Hamlet, and I've always wanted to have him front something. So both Rob and Lucy are playing Robert and Ann Adams, so they're, the center of this, which is a very strong center. And then Leo Marks, who was in Our American Hamlet as well, playing Edwin Booth, he is playing Dr. Miller and is just great. He is one of the few people I know. He studies neuroscience too, and he really is very fluent in the idea of. He's very interested in consciousness. And so this appealed to him on a lot of levels, and I'm very thankful that he was there. Additionally, there was Melissa Greenspan, who is usually a very comic actress, and she brought a real sense of the brittle, angry desperation of one of the characters she played, and then the other one was a care nurse who she really just nailed so perfectly with a mix of sort of dry wit and compassion. And then finally, Mike Lanahan is doing the narration for this, and he has kind of been in everything I've written for the last 10 years. And he's just great to have around. Yeah, it's a really good group of people, and it's sort of the base of the cake of a group of people that I imagine I will be have worked with for a while, and will be working with for a lot longer. On the other side of the camera, there's Corwin Evans, who is an absolute whiz in live theater with projections, but in this whole format, he's creating animations and paintings and moving them all over the place. He's sort of in charge of the visual style of this, which is austere but kind of sumptuous because there's a lot of paintings and different time periods. And then Jeff Gardner is doing the sound, and I worked with him on Ravel, and we had a really, really, really good time because he is one of those sound designers who sort of reaches into the conceptual side of things and in a subtle way really enhances the story. In this, you know, in the last show, I think there was some kind of, I don't know, like a fire alarm that became a symphony. And then in this one, we have one where, you know, somebody's looking at some pages of a symphony and they are looking at different pages of it, and she can hear it inside her head, and then she turns the page, it's a different part of the symphony, but it's a reflection of the first one, and then she turns the page again, it's a different part of the symphony, and then she's looking at all the pages and it's all playing together, and then she shuts the book and it all sort of goes away. And that was Jeff sort of being really creative with the use of sound. And then holding it all together is Bree Pavey, who is a brilliant production coordinator and can, kept us on track and kept this sort of moving through, and got us through shooting in OBS. And the remarkable thing about this is that we never, ever, ever were in the same room, any of us. Not one time. And I was talking to Lucy about that last night. We were just sort of shocked that actually was the case, because there was such intimacy, and yet it was all like this. What do I want the audience to get out of this play? What I want with any story I tell, I want the audience to feel what I felt when I first heard it. I want them to be fascinated with the reality of it. I want to share with them the wonder and the beauty of this story and what it means. I want them to have empathy and sympathy for the people who struggle with this. And I want them to see that there is a magic that you never thought was there inside something that seems quite desperate and deadly. I'm Jake Broder. If you enjoyed this chat and you want to see UnRavelled, you can go to unravelledplay.com. That's unraveled with 2 L's. And that's unravelledplay.com. And see it. It's available on demand from February 25th, 2021 to March 30th, 2021.